tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go.
Next story up. So there's a get my words together. There's a historic storm that is hitting California right now as we speak, actually. It is the cyclone bomb, or BombCyclone. And what that means is it's when a storm is in a low pressure area, it rapidly strengthens over the ocean in a pretty short amount of time, and then it moves over to the land. Okay, and so it's just basically an explosive storm strengthening quickly. Apparently that storm hit land in California yesterday. I know I was talking to my dad and talking to Debbie and Rashawn and all them, and they were saying that the rain was coming in, and they were expecting 2 to 4 inches of rain, which doesn't sound like a lot to you and I, but you guys have to remember that, first of all, California ain't used to this type of rain. Okay, even though the weather has changed since I've moved. I've been here in Georgia almost 20 years now, but when I lived, when I was living there and growing up and everything, we didn't get this kind of rain like they're getting now. I think a lot of it has to do with climate change and all. But anyway, they're not used to this amount of water. So even 2 to 4 inches of water, rain coming down, that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you calculate into that there is a lot of trash all over Los Angeles, so they don't have the best drainage systems. So what ends up happening is everything gets flooded because the water is, they can't get the water to drain anywhere. And so that's what everybody is most concerned about. I think I've already seen that there has been a lot of flooding there. The mountains, the foothills are probably going to get more rain, and that means more flooding. They said they expect it to be pretty bad, and so unless you have to be out, and that means have to be out, it's probably best that everybody stay their ass at home. The Governor Newsom, has declared a state of emergency, and that allows the teams that can come in and help relieve things. They will be at the ready. They've been already, it's already a state of an emergency. And so the government has these protocols and things in place to go in and help the people immediately. But this BombCyclone, it's just like, didn't we just have during Christmas time, we had some sort of vortex, a polar vortex that was coming down. We got vortexes and cyclones and shit. And it seemed like the shit is going to get worse because is anybody trying to make any differences when it comes to climate change? I mean, a lot of people don't even believe that that's the reason why we got all of these changes in our climate. So, yeah, you guys. But yeah, to all my people over in California, my family, I still have all of my family and friends are there. Everybody just be safe and keep your head up. And like I said, stay your ass at home if you ain't got to go nowhere. Y'all already know you can't drive in water. Californians cannot drive in the rain. We are not prepared. This is super foreign to them. And the streets already fucked up from the water and all that. Just everybody just stay home.
All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow. Get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all
right, you guys, next story is also kind of a follow-up on this YSL case. So they're in the middle of jury selection right now. And the case is supposed to be starting, I believe, on Monday. And if you guys don't know YSL, that is the Young Slime Life, the case where the DA out here in Atlanta says that Young Thug was one of the higher ups, if not the actual shot caller for Young Slime Life, a blood gang operation. Young Thug and the other 28 people that they swept up and arrested on RICO charges, they are all saying that they all were saying that this was actually a record label, not a gang. And that is the reason why they were affiliated with YSL, that they were not a part of any criminal activity or any criminal behaviors. That is the defense that Young Thug has, with his lawyers. But it's clear that they really want to nail Young Thug. Okay, mama named him Jeffrey Wright. in this case. So there were RICO charges. Those are federal charges, very serious charges. Usually the government, when they bring forth like federal charges, RICO charges like that, is because they have been following you for many years and they have been building this case and allowing you as much rope as you need to hang yourself. So they had been watching them since 2015 or so. Okay. And in this time, they said that gang had been robbing people, and there were some murders or attempted murders and a lot of other illegalities that were going on. So now the case is about to happen. They're saying something like there's a possibility of 300 witnesses. Now, you guys have to remember there were 28 people that were arrested. They have let 7 go on plea deals. Okay. Basically, they all have pled guilty to the one RICO charge. And, there are some of them that had some other things that they also had to plead guilty to. But for the most part, that one RICO charge, as long as they said that they did belong to YSL, which is considered a street gang, that was the only bad thing, or the only thing that they did, and other than that, that's why I feel like they offered plea deals to the people that they maybe feel like weren't really involved in criminal activity. Like I said last week, just somebody that was a part of it, but didn't get into that other part. Okay. The criminal part. So Gunna and Young Thug's brother and a whole bunch of other people have gotten out, but no deals given to Young Thug. Actually, Young Thug's father was caught on the news the other day, and his father was just like, well, I'm just his father and I can't tell him what to do. He's a grown-ass man, but I wouldn't take a plea deal even if they offered it to me, because the father is like, he is innocent and he shouldn't be taking plea deals because he hasn't done anything wrong. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. But 300 witnesses, that's a whole bunch of fucking people. I was like, they need 300 people to confirm, to validate their prosecution case against him. Like, that is a lot of people, and that will take a lot of time to try to get all of those people's testimonies up there and all that. So yeah, this case looks like it's gonna be a long ass case, and I know them jurors that's gonna be working that case is probably like, I cannot be off of work for no 5-6 months fucking around with this. Okay, so but that's where they are. It's a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of money, because you guys know this is state taxes that pay these kind of cases and the prosecutors and all of that. So yeah, that's where they are. But finally we get to the case, because I felt like the DA had arrested all those people to kind of scare them. Like, they didn't know exactly what was happening, when they was going to get out, or anything. So it was just sort of like, let's arrest them all, let's sit them in jail, and let's let them twiddle their thumbs to the point where they get so frustrated or nervous or whatever that they start talking. Okay. And so I think that that's what they did, and we'll see in the case as it comes next week if that was part of their strategy. Okay, 20 people still left, but somebody might say something. Okay, and so we won't know anything until the case actually gets here, you guys. But yeah. Jury selection is going, and we'll finally get down to the bottom of shit in court next week.
So bravo, smile so much to hide my sorrows, faith is shaky and vibrato.
All right, you guys, next story up are condolences out to Judge Lynn Toler. Her husband, Big E, okay, mama named him Eric Mumford, has passed. Okay, actually he died on December 23rd, and I'm assuming that the family wanted some time to themselves, to grieve in peace. So they didn't let us know until just yesterday. And if you guys know Judge Toler and how much she has talked about her husband, how much she has loved her husband, she has said that he is her rock. She has said so many wonderful things about her husband. They were married for 36 years. She's always just big upped her husband, just loved him to death. I didn't even really watch Judge Toler too often, but I remember hearing her many times speak on what a good man and good person that he was. So of course, now that he has passed, I don't know if he was sick or if this was something sudden. But she did post, you know, that she is in a million pieces. Very heartbreaking when you see, you know, a couple that have been together so long who obviously very much love each other, and one goes. It's just very hard for the other person that's left behind. So I'm not sure how old he was. I didn't get, well, you know what? They said he was born in 51. I saw the pictures of 51, 60, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 2001, 2011, 2021. So he was around 71 years old, you guys. He leaves behind 2 sons, William and Xavier Mumford. He also has 4 sons from a previous marriage, and of course he leaves behind Judge Toler. Okay, rest in peace to Eric Mumford.
Brown too long. I can't stay down too long.
All right, you guys, another follow-up story for you. We had a lot of follow-ups today, you guys. Apparently, DJ Pat, mama named him Patrick Clark. Patrick Clark is the person that was in jail with the $1 million bail for killing rapper Takeoff. Mama named him Kersnick Kari Ball. Remember I told you guys a few weeks ago that they actually arrested DJ Pat. He is a popular strip club DJ out there in Houston. And they caught him right before it looked like he was about to be on the run. He had passports, he had tickets to go to Mexico, he had his shit packed and everything. So he was on his way, and then they arrested him. Once he was in jail, he asked the court to give him $5,000 so that he can hire a private investigator, because apparently the courts had taken all of his money. And they said, okay, and they actually gave him that $5,000, and I was surprised. Now the story comes down that he has posted bond, you guys. He had $1 million bond that was set, and he did post that yesterday, and he is out of jail. Okay, if he's not out of jail, he's gonna be getting out of jail real soon, because he's posted bond. I'm assuming he's going to be posted up at his parents' house, and he will not be in court now until March. He won't be in court until March. I know a lot of people were like, $1 million? How does he have $1 million? And who's paying for his bond? And you guys remember, it's 10% of the bond. So he had to come up with $100,000, which is still a lot of money, but $100,000 is a whole lot less than $1 million. Okay. So somebody probably put up their house or something like that and was able to get him out. So I know a lot of people were saying something along the lines of, you know, somebody with a whole bunch of money is trying to make sure that they protect him and all of that. And you guys know all the drama with them saying who was all involved down there in Houston. And, you know, it's just going to be a whole bunch of that until we can get to this case and get things figured out. But Mr. Clark still maintains that he's innocent. And so we'll see. But we won't see anything until March. That's when the case happens. So until then, he is a somewhat free man. He got to be nervous, though. I hope they're going to hide him away, because just being at his parents' house, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
The Rolling Stones has this best 200 singers ever list. All right. And you guys know that these lists are always very subjective. It's nothing that is written in stone. It's really all it is just the opinions of the people that work for Rolling Stone. You got to remember that some of these people are probably young and don't necessarily know of certain people. You know, they have their like it's nothing that we all need to be like, oh my God. You know, this ain't a law, you guys. It's just somebody's opinion at the end of the day. But they had the 200 people, and folks been real pissed because, for one, we ain't had no Celine Dion on there. And the least y'all could have done was put that lady on that list because she deserved to be there. All right. And I think a lot of people probably feel like Celine Dion should be on that list, but she's not. 200 people, and she's not on there. Now Rolling Stone said, this list was compiled by our staff and key contributors, and it encompasses 100 years of pop music as an ongoing global conversation. This is based on originality, influence, the depth of an artist's catalog, and the breadth, B-R-E-A-D-T-H, of their musical legacy. Now, we ain't had no Celine Dion, we ain't had no Pink, Justin Bieber, no Jennifer Hudson, no Janet Jackson, no Tony Bennett, no Madonna, no Nat King Cole, no Dionne Warwick, and there are many others that aren't on there. If they are on there, they are real low on the list. I mean, there are some people that's low on the list that needs to be higher. I mean, but like I said, it's all subjective. But for them to not include some of these people, some of those people that I just named, I was like, I don't know if I would put them on the 200 best ever singers list, but some people obviously need to be on there, and they're not. But like I said, I mean, it's okay, you guys. If people is pissed the fuck off, okay? I'm gonna read you guys who's the top 20 on the list. Hold on, let me pull it up real fast here. The top 20 singers, and this is from 20 down to 1. We have Marvin Gaye, Frank Sinatra, Celia Cruz, Elvis Presley, Prince, Bob Dylan, Freddie Mercury, Patsy Cline, John Lennon, Little Richard, Al Green, Otis Redding, Beyonce, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Mariah Carey, Billie Holiday, Sam Cooke, Whitney Houston as number 2, and Aretha Franklin as number 1. Now, while I agree with a lot of those people, that's in the top 20. Some people might not be my choice, but, I feel like they got a good amount of people in that top 20. But like I said, some folks, they ain't, child, listen, they had them put Rihanna higher than Kelly Clarkson, which, now, I love me some Ree, I do. And I'm not saying that she can't sing, but I feel like Kelly Clarkson is a better singer. Okay. We had Jasmine Sullivan and Christina Aguilera and Carrie Underwood on the list, but they weren't in the top 100. So it's just like I said, it just sort of depends, you guys. We may not agree with what they said, and it's really okay. This ain't nothing that we gonna have in concrete on a mountain somewhere and everybody go and visit it and be like, those are the people, it's written in stone. You guys know it's not. It's okay. And next year when they do the list again, it's probably gonna be something totally different. We gonna be all mad again. So, but yeah, it was interesting that they didn't have Celine Dion on there. I mean, this woman sings her ass off. Okay, but to each his own, you guys. It's all good. Who y'all thought should have been on that list? Was y'all cool with that top 20 that I just read to you guys? Or do you think they even had that wrong? Y'all let me know who should be on there, who wasn't.
I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long.
All right, you guys, next story up. So everybody is all up in arms about this interview that Gabrielle Union did on Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. Okay, I think it's a podcast. We love us a podcast these days. Everybody go on podcasts and just say all of the shit that they didn't nobody need to know. People be so comfortable in those podcast chairs, like, oh gosh, So in this situation, Gabrielle Union, who you guys know is not my favorite. So I very rarely will put Gabrielle Union stories in my top of the blogs because she's somebody that I just don't genuinely like. I don't like her. So I just, it's just, I don't be wanting to be sitting up here talking bad about the girl. So it's just best for me to just not say nothing. But I don't know why anybody is surprised by what she said in that interview, because this is kind of the reason why, like, she just seems like such a nasty person. And like I said, I usually am a good judge of character, and all the things that come out about her that she tells us, don't be like it just came out from some, like, I 100% am not shocked, because she seems like that's the kind of way that she would think, She's talking about her first marriage with that football player, Chris, what was his name? Chris Howard. She was married to a football player in the early 2000s. She said that it was dysfunctional from the beginning and that they both was messing around, but she felt like she was able to mess around, and that it shouldn't be any problem because she was the breadwinner in the family and that she paid all the bills. Okay. And people were just sort of like, why would she even say all that? But it's just so not surprising. It is so not surprising. And she said that she doesn't feel bad about what she did. She knows that maybe she should, but she doesn't. And I don't know, you guys, you know. I mean, there's really nothing to say to that. I don't know if she still thinks that way today. She's definitely not the breadwinner in the relationship that she's in now. And some people will say maybe that's why it was easy for her to take Dwayne Wade back when he supposedly had the break baby, even though they weren't on no break. Okay. But you guys know that he has a child outside of their, well, they weren't married at the time, but right after that happened, they broke up for a second. They got back together. They ended up getting married after that, you know. So, yeah, it's not surprising to me. She just seems like a nasty person, a pretty girl who has a nasty disposition. I will never forget when she is down on, they have a video of her when she's down on the basketball floor and she's trying to talk to Dwayne Wade. Either the game was over or was halftime or something, and every time somebody would walk by, they would say something to Dwayne. And so they would interrupt the conversation that they were having. And you could see it on her face. She was so fucking annoyed because everybody was like coming by like maybe good game or hey, Dwayne, or, you know, whatever. And every time they stopped, she would look and she would just be like, okay, thank you. Okay, yes, all right. You know, and I was just like, yeah, she just seems, it's just not surprising. She just seems like that kind of a person, which is unfortunate. You know, this is ugly. This is just ugly. She just strikes me as a pretty on the outside, ugly on the inside person. Yeah, that's why I don't talk about her, because I don't like saying them kind of things. But that's what it is for me, you guys. Were you guys surprised that she felt like that? That she made all the money, so she should be able to cheat? And if that was the truth, then in these households today where men are the money makers, not always, it doesn't happen in all households, but there are many households that the men are the breadwinners. Does that give them license to go out and fuck around? Yeah, it's too bad, y'all. Let's move on to the next story.
Running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
Rest in peace to Gangsta Boo. Okay, mama named her Lola Chantrell Mitchell. You guys know her from being the rapper with 3 6 Mafia, the female rapper that was with 3 6 Mafia. I mean, she wasn't in the group, but she was with them a lot and had, you know, songs with them and, you know, had her own music, of course, as well. She died on New Year's Day, you guys, which was a shock. I saw that on Instagram, and I hadn't seen Gangsta Boo or heard that name in so long. But apparently you guys tell me that she actually was not a contestant, but she was on Marriage Boot Camp, the hip hop edition. I never watched Marriage Boot Camp, so I didn't know that. But she was on there with her boyfriend, Emmett Flores. Apparently they've been together for like 8 years. They're not married, but they were in a relationship together and they were on the show together. And apparently she got kicked off of the show, from what you guys tell me, because they had found like a little bag of white powdery substance in her room or something. And so she ended up getting kicked off of the show because I'm assuming that they assumed that it was drugs. Well, now they're saying that she may have had a drug problem that she was not in control of. And even though the official report, they haven't said how she died, but they're saying, they being social media and people that I guess are kind of close to the story, that she died from most likely an overdose of drugs, possibly fentanyl. They said that they found her on the porch of her home, and that Blue is barking his ass off. Is he barking at? One second, you guys. Anyway, you guys, yeah, very sad if that is indeed the case, that she overdosed. That fentanyl is just, it's killing people left and right. And what's sad about it is, I'm not sure if people realize that the drugs that they are getting is laced with this fentanyl. It's like street level fentanyl. And from what you guys tell me, is super strong, and, you know, it immediately does people in. So I'm not even sure if they know that that the drugs that they're getting are tainted, or if this is just something that's given them like this extreme high. Apparently, there was another person that was with her that also overdosed, but that person survived and she did not. Okay, so that person is in the hospital and she is not. I don't know who that other person was, but I did read that as well. So yeah, you guys, very, very sad. She didn't have any children. Like I said, she was not married. She had that boyfriend for many years. She was 43 years old. Rest in peace to Gangsta Boo.
Things I know, couple things I show, couple things I don't.
All right, you guys, next story up. So you guys remember some years ago, I guess it's been 7 or 8 years ago, we talked about Dr. Malachi Love Robinson. Okay, at least that's what he told us his name was when we, not his name, his what is it, prefix? Doctor. Yeah, he was 18 years old and he was running a medical facility that he somehow was able to rent out, put a sign there, have staff and everything, child. It was called the New Birth, New Life Medical Center. Child, he was 18 years old. He was practicing medicine there and doing house calls and all that shit. I think that's how he ended up getting caught. But anyway, no. He got caught because they had an undercover person come in, pose as a patient, and ended up, he was practicing medicine. So they arrested him for practicing without a license. He got in trouble for that. I think while he was waiting for his court case or whatever to go down, he also got in trouble because he had then stole somebody's credit card and was trying to buy a Jaguar for $35,000 on this stolen credit card. Okay. So yeah, he got in trouble for that. They ended up putting him in jail for, I think he had a 5-year sentence, 5 or 6 year sentence, but he ended up getting out in 2019. So he only was in jail for like 4 years. So, and I guess Dr. Love Robinson had been laying low ever since, or at least we thought he was. But now we find out, now at 25 years old, that he has been arrested again. He was working for United States Freight. And the customers that they would have, they had invoices or whatever, and the invoices that he would have the customers pay, they were paying directly into an account that he controlled. It was his bank account, either through PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or however they were paying. He was getting the money. And he was getting away with it, but some tell me that Dr. Love Robinson didn't think of this one little small yet important fact. Is that when you are taking the money and these people have accounts with this business and the owner sees that the accounts are not being paid, then the owner is now going to reach out or put people in place to reach out to those customers to find out where's their payment. And of course, it's just going to take a matter of time for them people to say, I paid the damn bill. Okay. Malachi told me to send it to here. And how easy is it to just figure out that Malachi is stealing from you? So that's exactly what happened. When the owner of the freight company contacted him, he told him he was sorry and that he would make it right, that he has this compulsion to do things without thinking about the consequences. And he's very, very sorry about this, but he's going to make it right. Okay. Apparently he stole over $10,000 from these customers. And, yeah, now that he's pled guilty to it, he's got 28 months in jail. What is going on with this boy that he can't do right? I'm wondering if he really must have some sort of condition, you guys, because he just can't get right. He just cannot do it. Like, how did he think that he was going to get away with that? So the story just kind of makes me giggle because he just continues on. And he might be one of those lifelong career criminals, kind of like, the Wolf of Wall Street, just one that's just like extremely smart, but just can't never seem to do the right thing. Like, you got your smarts, but you use it to do shit that's illegal. So I don't know, but yeah, he gonna be in jail for 28 months. Some tell me they ain't gonna let his ass out early this time either. He gonna do them 28.
I can tell you my problems. I can tell you my sins. I can tell you my problems. I'm uncomfortable in my.
Really got a man at home. And he's so good to me. That's right, you guys. Chilli mama named her Rosanda Osaline Thomas. I said not Osaline. Anyway, it seems that Miss Rosanda has found her a man. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say has found a man like she was on the hunt or anything. It seems that everything lined up for her and Matthew Lawrence to get together. Okay, now if you guys say, Matthew Lawrence, that name sounds familiar, then this might be why. Matthew Lawrence from the show Boy Meets World, him and Chilli seem to have been hanging out a lot recently. They were seen in August in Waikiki, running around on the beach, and people thought maybe back then that they were dating, but they both shot down those rumors and said, no, they're not. They're just friends, or they just happen to be in the same place at the same time. Okay. Fast forward to Christmas time. These two became IG official when she posted a video of them dancing in matching PJs for Christmas. Yeah, it seems that they are now a couple. Apparently he met her family and they all like him and whatever, and they are a couple, so good for them. Okay. We know about Chilli's history. People always felt like once she broke up with Usher, nobody would ever live up to that, to what she has. Chilli, we know she has a list, and the person that she's with has to have all of these qualities. She's not backing down from it. I mean, and that's fine if you have your standards and you know that that's what you require and you're not going to, compromise on it, is fine. But it was seeming like her list was so extensive that there was nobody that could, match everything. Well, it turns out that maybe Matthew Lawrence is that person, you guys. And she seems like she's happy. The pictures that I've seen of the two of them together, they're smiling, they dancing together and all of that. So, hey, if she like it, I love it. I shouldn't say it like that, like, something wrong with him. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with him. I mean, he is a white guy and some people have issue with that. But, what is the saying? You can't help who you fall in love with. Okay, the heart wants what it wants. And apparently he was what she wanted. So they're together. What y'all think about that? I never watched Boy Meets World, so I had to go and look up the shit because I was just like, now who is he? But anyway, yeah, you guys, it seems that Chilli got a man at home now. Good for her.
Skin, I'm uncomfortable with my ends. I'm uncomfortable with my friends. I'm uncomfortable with my drinking. I'm uncomfortable with my thinking.
All right, you guys, that is it. Okay. Also, before I get off of here, let me shout out a birthday. A rock star by the name of Leah asked me to give them a shout out. Birthday on January 7th. Shout out to you. I almost forgot. I got through this whole video. That's why I'm telling y'all keep on asking me to do these shout outs and I'll be forgetting. Okay. But, yeah, happy birthday to you. Your birthday is coming up. Be safe and, rock on with your bad self. But anyway, you guys, I'm gonna get on off of here. If I haven't seen you guys, also, if you don't watch any of my other videos, this is my first time seeing you guys since the new year. Happy New Year to you all. I'm glad you guys all made it back for 2023. Y'all continue to y'all rock with your girl. It's gonna be a good year, even though the shit didn't start off good. But you know what? We gonna keep hope alive. Everything is going to work out fine. Okay. And I am going to get off of here. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.
I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
Until next time, rock stars. Bye.